So students have already ordered buttons in this step of the process. So you can see the order forms have been filled out. And they need to get together the sheet of the images that they need to sell. I happen to have order forms here from other teachers in the building, one for each item that's on the sheet. So they're going to start out by cutting on the red lines. So they're going to make 3 cuts with the cutting board. And what's nice is there is a little metal strip to this cutting board that shows you exactly where you're going to cut. So they can just line that up on top of their red line to make their cuts. So after they've got those cut out, I'm really kind of picky that they always just throw their papers right away. So for the next step, they're going to be punching out their circles. So they're going to place it inside. There's a slot right through there that they insert their paper through. They line it up so that they can see just the black ring around it, put their hand on it and push up. Once it clicks, they can let go, and it just punches it out perfectly for them. So they're now going to operate the button press. Notice that there's marks here at the top of each side. So one's facing you and one's facing away from you. But that's so you can set so that the top of your buttons line up. And I tell the students once they get their supplies, the first thing they're going to want to do is to lay out their materials so that they have a bottom and a top by each. You'll notice that these tops can get stuck together really easily. And so it's really important that they pre-set up what they're doing so that there's less chance of them jamming up your machine, because getting them unjammed can be quite torturous. Also, having them line up which images go with which magnets keeps everything organized so that they can fulfill their orders in a correct manner and that they can attach the right materials to the right things. So let's get started. So for the magnet back, you'll see that it has no pin, of course. So it's just the flat metal. The flat metal goes down inside. The top, the ridge goes down inside of the machine, like so. They put the image so it's facing them. Then they add a clear coat. These also can get stuck really easily, so they need to make sure that they're only putting one in and that they've got it in all the way in. If they don't put it all the way in, it can cause a jam, or it can cause it so it does not seal correctly. Inside the business, if they waste money for doing something incorrectly, it comes out of their company product. Depending on your budget will depend on how many buttons you can allow people to make. And this unit is one of my only ones that costs any money. So I don't put a limit on it. I go by grades, and they can buy up to 3 magnets or 6 pins. Plus they get their one free at the beginning. Making sure they hit down really hard and steady is really important. Now, if somebody buys 2 buttons, what we have them do is they attach their buttons to either side of their order form so that the magnets holding together can make it so that they hold on to each other. And you'll notice I've been pulling off the white paper off the back of the magnets, which exposes a really sticky surface so that they can stick their magnet there. And then the two magnets hook together to hold it onto their order form. If they do not, we use a paper clip here on the back to hold the magnet onto the paper. So on the pinned buttons, they need to have one more positioning item that they need to worry about. The top of their pin, so I call it the heartbeat, needs to point parallel to the marker line on the top. So when they're put together, the top of the button and the top of the pin are hooked together. So you can see here's the top of the pin to the top of the button. And for that one, they're just going to, with the pin backs, they literally just pin the button onto the order and then put them into the baskets that I showed you previously.